Welcome back to Chasing News. I'm Bill Spadea. New details emerging involving the bus crash that killed a student and a teacher last week on Route 80 in North Jersey. There are more questions now after the bus driver's driving record has been revealed. Turns out he reportedly had his license suspended 14 times since 1975. Now, 6 of those were for unpaid parking tickets. One of them was a suspension of his CDL license for administrative reasons, but 8 times his license was suspended for speeding. Of course, this brings up a lot of questions as to will there be a prosecution? Will this be relevant if there's a civil case? I want to bring in an expert who knows a lot about prosecuting cases. He is the former prosecutor for Morris County. Bob Bianchi joins us again. Good to have you back, Bob.
Good to be back, Bill.
So let me come straight out with this, Bob. You've heard the discussion of the really bad driving record, at least when it comes to how many times this guy had his license suspended, 14 times. Taking out all of that, the ones that were for unpaid parking tickets and administrative reasons, you still got a guy had his license suspended 8 times for speeding. How would you be proceeding with this, knowing that we don't have all the information of exactly what was going on the roadway?
There's 2 things going on here. One is the criminal case and the civil case. And the question becomes what evidence can be admitted or used in each of the contexts. As a prosecutor, if I'm seeing a person's got 8 prior speeding offenses, was allowed to continue to be a bus driver, and if there is any level of recklessness where 2 individuals died, I'm pretty confident I would be filing charges on at least the death by auto statute, potentially more. But we need more data on the conduct itself to see if it fits that definition under the law, Bill, of being reckless for the criminal law. On the civil law, it's a little bit different. That information about his prior 8 speeding tickets also goes to the credibility of the bus company and the school district who allowed somebody with that kind of record to be in possession of our most cherished resource, our children.
Was it really even up to the bus company? Could it be discriminatory if legally he has a license that is valid? How much burden is on these companies to say, we're going to make a judgment call because you've got a rough history here?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with discrimination. It has to do with the rule of common sense, Bill. If you have a person coming to you that's got a demonstrable record of speeding violations that you're putting in the care and custody of children, you need to walk away from that individual. And even all of these other contacts would just say to me as an employer, and I was one, there's something about this guy not following the rules of the road. Way too many contacts. I am not going to take a risk with our most precious resource and put him in a bus. And so be it if somebody wants to say there's something wrong with that.
Think the bus driver could end up in jail?
Listen, if there is any level of recklessness, you can be assured the prosecutor, in my mind, as I was one, is going to look at this. A child is dead, multiple children injured, a teacher is killed. This is the kind of case you have to send a message about.
Thank you, Bob. Always good to see you. All right, let's bring in tonight's A-plus panel. We're joined by Afia Yunus, immigration attorney. Afia, good to see you.
You too, Bill.
Peter Brown is back, Democratic councilman in Linden, New Jersey.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Peter. It concerns me that you've got, it seems to me, a lack of standards as far as what constitutes a history that would red flag somebody for a bus company to say, maybe we're not going to take a risk with you.
Absolutely. You know, when you look at his driving history, everything from the accident suspensions, there's a lot of red flags. He should not have been driving a bus. This is the one time I do agree that the government needs to step in and pass some type of law where your requirements for being a school bus driver is higher. You know, having 12 points until your license is suspended, we shouldn't wait that long for someone to start driving a school bus.
Afia, let's address quickly what Bob said on the civil side of this. I mean, given that those standards don't seem to exist, that as long as you have a valid license, you can be hired, do you think that adds and it takes away any credibility of a civil suit coming out of this?
No, I think liability needs to be had here. I mean, if this was my child or I can't even imagine. And so there, I mean, even though money doesn't repair the damages, it does help. So I think they should be pursued.
Will Linden be taking any action in terms of the school buses that you guys contract out for?
We actually contract out, so I can't speak about that. I know we have one of the largest bus companies in the state that handles our busing, so I can't speak in regards to that.
Would you like to see that, though? As a parent, forgetting being a lawyer, would you like to see, some standard be set for these bus companies?
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this, I was horrified that this guy was, had this long history of violations, and yet he's driving little children around.
Yeah, okay, gotta leave it there. Thanks, guys.